think we're on. Okay. This is the first stream that we have done in a long time. Where's the camera, though? Yes, we're on. Cool. Okay. Let a few more people get in, then we'll give it a yes, guys. It's honestly been, it's almost exactly a year ago that I last went live on this channel. And to be fair, last time I went live was an awful stream because Chelsea got beat 1-0 by Nottingham Forest. If you remember that stream, then wow. Okay, there is now a lot of you joining here, which is great news. Yes, guys, what we saying? Finally caught me live because it's the first time we've been live in I don't know how long. Basically, what I want to go for in this live stream is I want to give you the updates, the current updates, because it's actually flipping mental what is happening right now in terms of, and I think people are kind of missing this point here. Osimhen has been offered the most ridiculous contract to go to Saudi Arabia, but the reason why he isn't accepting it just like straight out the gate is because Chelsea is still there. And Osimhen wants to go to Chelsea, but the money is absolutely ridiculous. And to be quite honest, this says everything that anyone will ever need to know. This is like, and again, like let's put ourselves in Victor's shoes, okay? If he gets offered like 700 grand a week or 600,000 pound a week at Ahly, and then he also gets himself a release clause there where he can go and literally, I don't know, set up his family for generation upon generation in the future. And then he can still probably get a big move in the future to a European club. Like, I mean, if someone says to you, you can either get 600 grand or 200 grand, like you're absolutely thinking about it. There's no one that would just be like, no, I don't think. I think you're at least thinking about it. And that is why people can be like, oh, he's just there for the money. But like, this is stupid money. Stupid money. I've had a lot of people also tell me, and I don't know anything about this because I don't know many Nigerian people. But a lot of people have said to me that it's like a family thing in Nigeria, where if someone within the family has like earns X amount of money, then it's kind of like the family's money or something. So I think there's definitely potentially, I say definitely and potentially, but there's potentially external issues here that are going to be swaying the decision. If it was me, look, money does talk, yes. So you definitely sitting there thinking about it. But like, the guy is one of the top 10 players in the world, apparently. So surely, you're looking at a move to Chelsea in the Premier League, still making 200 grand a week or whatever it is, and being like, now this is where I cement myself as like a legend of football. If Victor Osimhen comes to Chelsea and takes Chelsea from being a mid-table club to winning a Premier League or winning us another Champions League or whatever, like this is like legendary, iconic African footballer status that Osimhen could be just having his name attached to for the rest of his life. Whereas the reality of the situation is you go to Saudi Arabia and the only thing that you really get is a load of money. You're playing in a competitive league, yes, but like it's not the Premier League. It's absolutely crazy the amount of money here that we're talking about. And I think as a result of that, it's going to make this Chelsea signing of Victor Osimhen even that much sweeter if he does join us. But also, like, fully, like, it's fine. Like, if he's literally not going to accept anything less than what he's asking for, which is still crazy money, then just walk away. Walk away before it gets to a point where even Ivan Toney, I'm gonna try and figure out how I can get the tweets to come up on the screen and stuff. But like, Ivan Toney is now apparently a late want from Manchester United. Manchester United are interested in going in for Ivan Toney as well. So Chelsea could be in a position here where we lose out on Osimhen for financial reasons, but then we could also lose out on Ivan Toney for like spending too much time waiting for Osimhen reasons, which would be a disaster, really. I mean, I don't really think any of this is a disaster because I think we've actually got a great squad already. But I think this striker signing, whether it's Osimhen, I've just seen that donation come in. I'll grab that in a second. Thank you very much. I do think that the difference between Chelsea being good this season and potentially being great all hangs on whether or not we can get an unbelievable striker in. So this is just such a tough one. And I think it's going to get to a point where I don't think Chelsea will be able to wait until the end of the transfer window. I don't think we can wait till deadline day. David Steinhardt, thank you very much for the $5, mate. W. Tony, he risks not getting back to England if he goes to Saudi. Don't think that applies to Osimhen. Are we an interesting enough project? I mean, that's such a great question. And thank you very much for the donation also. Chelsea are 100% an interesting enough project. Just simply for the fact that it's in the Premier League. And this is why when people start saying, oh, Chelsea aren't a big club anymore, they're just idiots. We won the Champions League in 2021. That is literally just over 3 years ago. Like, a lot of clubs that apparently have great projects have never even won a flipping European trophy, let alone the biggest one of them all. And Chelsea have one of the most exciting young squads in the world, with some of the most exciting South American players to be added to that. Anselmino, Kendry Páez, Esteval Willian, unbelievable footballers that will join this project that we've already signed. This isn't like paper talk anymore or gossip from Twitter. These are genuine Chelsea players that we've already signed. So the project is only going to get better. And I think if you're Victor Osimhen or Ivan Toney, you're looking at it and you're thinking, well, all right, well, all these South American kiddies are going to come in and they're supposedly going to be unbelievable players and like the best in the world for their age and all this stuff. But like, we're not talking about that level of competition for the position that we're debating here about whether it's Ivan Toney or Victor Osimhen. So I think, is the project exciting enough? Is the project good enough? Absolutely. And if you're looking at this Chelsea project as a striker and not looking at the team and the squad right now and thinking, yeah, I could go in there and actually make a massive change, an impact on this, then you're not ambitious enough. That's the way I see it. If these players right now don't want the move to Chelsea, and I think a lot of it is also down to the wages, right? Like the new wage structure at Chelsea, there's many different ways you can look at it in terms of like bracketing it as a positive thing or a negative thing. But if you don't look at a couple of $100,000 a week with the chances of making that even more if you do well as a motivator, then like, what the flipping hell are you? Why are you a footballer? Like, if you don't think that your ability is going to help Chelsea Football Club progress, which will progress the amount of money that you make, then what the flipping hell is wrong with you? Are you really a top 8 player in the world and the best player in Africa? If you look at Chelsea, who could offer you $150,000 a week and be like, it could be 250 if you score 20 goals and get us in Europe. If you don't look at that and think, yeah, I could take that, then like, there is no ambition there. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, like I said at the beginning of the stream, and I wanted to get that point out of the way straight away, because like, you need to know what motivates someone. And I really don't think there is anybody in the world who isn't looking at the idea of getting $600,000 a week and being like, okay, shall I do this or not? You know? So I think right now is actually the best time for me to be doing this stream, because I think it's pretty clear what's going on here regarding like the current position of this potential Osimhen to Chelsea deal. The current position, thank you Tim for the donation as well, by the way. The current position is that Osimhen has a ridiculous offer from Saudi Arabia on the table. The Saudis, Ahly, they are willing to go to Italy. They're willing to fly there now to seal this deal. And Osimhen, because he would rather play for Chelsea and rather play in the Premier League, if the money and the salary thing is fixed, that he's waiting to see how much he can get from Chelsea Football Club. Which I kind of understand, but also, like, how long can Chelsea wait here? We just need to wait, I'm seeing from Bozo in the comments, in the chat. How long? Like, if we wait, then do we lose Ivan Toney? Do we lose potential other strikers that we want? At this rate, I think we could end up with John Duran, who is actually a really exciting striker, who's probably underrated, to be fair. But it's just not that pedigree. I think the reason I've been so... 1 second, I'm just speaking to my graphic designer. 1 second. I will be straight back. Yes, like that. But let's get my face slightly lower and more balanced. I think... I forgot where I was going now. Sorry. Yeah, pay Osimhen the money. This is another debate, right? This is another debate about the wage structure. I fully understand. I've seen a lot of people today on Twitter kind of not arguing this, but like people have different opinions on this with different dualities. People think that if you don't break the wage structure for the needle movers, the world-class players, the players that can make a massive difference, then the whole plan is flawed. I kind of see that, but at the same time, the repercussions of Chelsea breaking the wage structure, when you actually do have so many potential world-class players on your books, the repercussions of doing that, for one, is massive. Because then it's like, how do we categorize these performance incentivized contracts, right? Like, let's say Nicholas Jackson scores 20 goals this season, gets 10 assists in all competitions. Then surely he is looking at Victor Osimhen, who might score less goals than that, but because he's Victor Osimhen, he's on a massive salary. Then do we then have Osimhen and Nicholas Jackson on 250 grand a week, for example? Cole Palmer, last season, he signed a contract at Chelsea, understood what he was getting himself in for, didn't necessarily care too much about signing for Chelsea for the money because he's at Manchester City. Pep Guardiola wanted to keep him, but Cole Palmer wanted to play football. So Cole Palmer signs for Chelsea, has an unbelievable season, and then Cole Palmer is now one of the top paid players at the club. And I think the thing here that is different between your Osimhen's, maybe your Ivan Toney's, your Cole Palmer's, some players are simply motivated by how much money comes in every single week, and because they have that guarantee, performance doesn't matter. And this isn't just a footballing thing. It's the same with anything in life. When you've got that security, sometimes things just slip a little bit. Sometimes quality isn't always at the forefront of one's mind. So I think it says a lot about players right now if they would take 650k a week and go to Saudi Arabia. I get it, but like, come on, man. Like, players like Osimhen, your Tonys, these guys can go to Saudi Arabia when they're 30 and probably still get that amount of money. Why? Because they go and sign for a club like Chelsea or another massive club in Europe. They boost their names even more, which by default, in 5 years' time, probably makes their value even higher because they're buying personalities. They're buying eyes on the league. Like, it's not just about buying a footballer for the Saudi league. It's not just about buying a footballer to make the team better. It's about bringing in players like Osimhen's, Ronaldo, Neymar, to just get eyes on the flipping league as much as it is to get a decent footballer in your team. So I think Osimhen, I would love it. I would absolutely adore the man, even more than I already like him. All right? I don't love Osimhen right now because he's not a Chelsea player. All right? Let's get this clear. But if he says no to 650 grand a week to sign for Chelsea, flipping heck, mate. Unbelievable. Thank you, Merdin Ekic, for your $8 Australian donation. For someone who admires Drogba, if he chooses them, he's only letting himself down. I mean, I think you're not the only one who will hold that opinion, to be quite honest. Also, Ivan Toney, 50 million quid Brentford want for him. Is he worth it? Is he worth it? That is the question. I'm actually going to do a poll for you guys right now. Who do you want Chelsea to sign? Pick one. We're going to do the poll now. I'm really curious about this one because I think there's a lot of recency bias because people see that Osimhen's not signed yet and they've seen the offer from Saudi Arabia and then they're like, well, it's got to be Toney, hasn't it? Toney's also been offered mega money by Saudi Arabia. So there's a world here where both of them actually end up in Saudi and Chelsea end up with neither of them. That is also a possibility, which means we'll probably end up with John Duran from Aston Villa, who apparently also want Nicholas Jackson now. This is interesting. Osimhen 66% right now. 67%. I'm just going to leave that one rolling for a little while. Sorry, guys. I'm also just messaging again. Hmm. 68% say Victor Osimhen. You guys know exactly where I sit on this one. If we sign Ivan Toney, I'm still very happy. Very happy. He's a brilliant striker, Premier League proven. But Osimhen, I think, is just like, he's just a massive player, isn't he? He's just such a big name that I just think elevates the club. I think Chelsea have done so many little deals for players where we're kind of like, yeah, they're gonna be good, but like Osimhen is 25 years old and he's fantastic already. Victor Gyökeres also I'd be delighted with. I think he is just like I'm gonna say he's a bit like Haaland, where like the guy will just score, which I guess is like that's all you ever want from a striker, really, isn't it? What do you think of this jumper, by the way, guys? Bought this in America, unbelievable. I'll also tell you now, I've got a very cool video to come out next week when it's the international break, where I break down everything of the pre-season tour, like everything from all of the costs to how much money the YouTube videos made here, ad revenue. I'm giving you the whole insider information. Cunha from Wolves. You know what? Like, I'm not. This could literally go on all night. Like, there's a lot of good strikers out there in the world. Cunha is a fantastic player. He's also a bit of a bastard, which I kind of like him. But he's also apparently like a nice guy. But he's a bastard on the football pitch. Like, that's what you want, isn't it? An arsehole. We just bid for a Benfica centre-back. I don't know if you're wishful thinking or not. I'm looking at all of my... I keep refreshing Twitter. Ahly proposal to Victor Osimhen includes a release clause. Crucial point requested by the Nigerian striker. Talks will continue in person with Ahly management in Italy for direct talks, while Chelsea keep negotiating on contract terms with Victor. Also, by the way, can we just say, well done? Fab tweet. Huh. Antonio Silva, surely not. Now, that would be an unbelievable signing. Also, out of nowhere. Oh, wow. Chelsea have Thomas Orejo on their shortlist in case one defender leaves in the final days. No bid at this stage, but Orejo really appreciated as per CNN Portugal. PSG want Orejo in case Milan Skriniar accept Al Nassr proposal. We are such a mental football club, aren't we? Like, we are actually off our flipping rocker. We want everyone. I mean, Silva, for me, would actually be the better signing of those centre-backs that they've got. But, like, I'm not going to turn my nose up at it. Thank you, Phantom of Many Topics, for approving of my new girlfriend. It's not really new, but thanks. She's great. Oh, that's a good thumbnail. That is a good thumbnail. Thank you, bro. I think also, apparently, according to the likes of that comment, a lot of people also do. We need better defenders. How much? Okay, so the Osimhen transfer fee is going to be 65 million euros. This is the point I was going to make before I got distracted by that donation. Thank you very much for that. I think the fact that it's gone down to the wire, like a lot of people say, like Chelsea should have got this one done early. Like, why have we waited 2 years to sign Victor Osimhen? Like, why didn't we just go for it? I think we've always been interested in Osimhen. And when I heard that it was 130 million euros, I was still like, great player, we should go for him. But then when you start to understand like the way that we have signed your Pedro Netos, Joao Felix, brilliant players that we've brought in, like if you spend 130 million euros on one player and that player is Victor Osimhen, you can't go and spend 60 million on Neto. You can't go and buy Joao Felix for 40 million. So what Chelsea have done is they've prioritized building the squad here to a point where now we're like trimming it down. We've realized that we've got great players, particularly in attack. We're trimming it down. And we've identified that the number 9, that striker role, is still not a desperate need, but it's a massive want and need for the club in order for us to get to that next level. And in the process of doing that, we've bided our time. We've allowed the amount of money that is particularly here for Osimhen, the amount of money that Napoli would have wanted has only ever gone down. From the beginning of the transfer window, the end of last season, it's only gone down. So what Chelsea have done now is they've got to a point where the only interest, because when Napoli was saying release clause, release clause, release clause or nothing, release clause or nothing, they just put everybody off. Like everybody knows with Osimhen's injury record that he's not worth 130 million euros. He's just not. So Napoli are now at a point where they're literally willing to accept half of that. Like, do you understand how much money 65 million euro difference is? Like that's literally the value of Pedro Neto. Insane. So I think it's good of Chelsea to, during this transfer window, have signed quite a lot of players, yes, but bought in good quality where even if Osimhen doesn't come in now, you're not looking at the Chelsea squad and thinking, nah, they're not good enough. Like, look what we did to Wolves. We've got a great new manager and with great ideas. We've already got a great squad. This would literally just be the cherry on top right now. The absolute cherry. So, yeah, it is 100% down to Osimhen and also, I guess, down to Chelsea as to what they're going to offer him. Chelsea could just look at this and be like, well, okay, we can't offer anywhere close to what the Saudi club are offering. So let's just give him like best case scenario deal, take it or leave it. And if it was like, if I'm guessing, I would say that the take it or leave it deal that Chelsea would offer Osimhen right now would be something along the lines of £200,000. Maybe. I mean, I'm pretty sure Mark Cucurella is like pretty close to that value. Raheem Sterling is on over 100 grand more than that, and he actually might be staying at Chelsea now. We'll get into the other players in a little bit. But like, this is also a question, like, what is the maximum wage? Does it mean that every player that we sign has to be on 60 grand a week? Like, that I don't think is correct. There has to be flexibility when it comes to like the name, not the name necessarily, but like the importance of the signing, the level of the player, the profile of the player, everything. Thank you, Digital Arts, for the donation. Wow, that is not the positivity we're looking for. Both Osimhen and Toney will fail horribly at Chelsea. Unfortunately, the only striker that can do it is Vardy. Blimey, mate. I don't really know what to say to you there. If you think that Jamie Vardy is the only answer for Chelsea right now, then I think you should stick to digital art, mate. Thank you, Mike, for the donation also. Can you see us being stuck with Chilwell? I mean, when you say it like that, like, yes, I could see us being stuck with Chilwell. It's actually, I'm gutted for him, to be fair, because Chilwell, like, we can't forget how important he was for us when we won the Champions League, granted. And I fully understand and very much respect Enzo Maresca for even telling him the truth and just being like, look, mate, I don't think you're going to be getting much game time here. We're going to try and move you on. And whether or not that is fully Maresca's decision, but like, if you're a footballing person who watches what Maresca's doing, you can see that Chilwell does not fit this system. He doesn't. Whether it's coming from above mainly or not because he's on big wages and the club are trying to get the wage bill down, there's a multitude of things here, and I think the play style is massively one of them too. Thank you, David, for the next $5 from you. Is there a setup that allows for Gusto and Reece to be in the same lineup? Do we actually sell Reece? When do we become completely soulless? I think if we sell Reece James, then I will have a serious issue with that. But, like, again, it's perfectly okay to have an issue with it and to not agree with it, but also understand it in the same sentence, in the same breath. I think that's something Chelsea fans have struggled with this summer, is it's like we either have to criticise or we love it. And it's like the same with Maresca. It's like he's either brutal or he's honest. Why can't he be brutally honest? Like, I said that before, but I stick by it. But I hope we don't sell Reece. Can Reece and Gusto play in the same team? Yes, they can. And I think Reece James playing as a right centre-back is not a bad idea to prolong his career, to be fair, because there's less bombing up and down, which is easier on the hamstring. Thank you very much, Anthony. That's a massive donation from you, my man. Thank you very much for the $20. Big up, George. I'm glad you and Georgie enjoyed your time in the States. And I hope you guys get either Tony or Osimhen for Chelsea. My club, AC Milan, might get another former Chelsea player in Tammy Abraham to back up Morata. I'm delighted to see so many former Chelsea players go to AC Milan. I've actually got a few friends in Bali that are Italian. They're big AC Milan fans. Love their passion. And I love seeing Ruben there doing well. Christian Pulisic doing well. And if Tammy joins them, like, why the bloody hell not, is what I say. Thank you for your comment. Thank you for your donation. DCDC, would I give a blowy? Wow. I'm going to unlike that one. This is why you should read the comments before reading them out, guys. This is I'm not the most experienced streamer, but no, I'm not going to give any Chelsea players blowies. Ever. Can confirm. But, you know, Buddy Shield, good guy. But is he a good defender? That's a question. That is the question. You can answer me in the comments. So, we're nearly at 2,000 votes here on the Who Do You Want Chelsea to Sign poll. 69% of you, of that 1,800, have said Victor Osimhen. 31% of you have said Ivan Toney. I'm going to let that get to 20 minutes, and then we're going to change the poll from Osimhen to somebody else. Because there is another player that I really, really like, and I think he fits the system perfectly more than anybody else. And I think you guys in the chat can probably guess who I'm talking about here. Who would George Benson, from the George Benson football channel, who would he think fits the system at Chelsea best? He's a striker, attacker. I've seen the name appear once. I mean, okay. I've seen a couple of you say it, and I'll go from second to first, because a lot of you are saying Gyökeres. He would be my second choice when it comes to like fitting the system players, but my number one is Alexander Isak. I think he's unreal. I think he's absolutely unbelievable. One of the best attackers in the league, and I think he's currently wasted at Newcastle. I also like Darwin Núñez as a footballer, but I like footballers who are just a bit nuts. Do you know what I mean? Like I like footballers who are just a little bit crazy. So I do like Darwin Núñez, but he wouldn't even be top 5 attacking targets for me. But yeah, Alexander Isak would be a fantastic signing. Let me have a look at this. To be quite honest, I know about Antonio Silva, but I'm not entirely fully clued up on Thomas Orejo. It's the wrong Orejo, I think. We should be going after the Barcelona one, if any. Okay, he's 1.87 m. He's 22 years old. Plays football at Benfica. He's their number 44. I'm taller than him. Just for the record, I'm 1.89. Centre-back or right-back. Versatile, I guess. Chelsea do love a bit of that. Enzo Maresca loves a bit of versatile, doesn't he? Missed a couple of donations there. Sorry about that. Thank you, Stephen, for the donation. Thank you, Samuel. We should invest in a better medical team so we can get Lavia and Reece back quicker. Like, the Reece injury was just kind of At this point, I'm just sad for him, to be honest. With Lavia, I don't think it's actually that big of an injury, so I've heard. So he should be okay, but I doubt he's going to play against Servette. It's probably just not worth the risk at this point, to be honest. But yeah, if we don't get a striker, I think we will sign a striker, guys. I don't think it's a case of if we don't sign a striker, then we sign a defender. I think Chelsea will 100% buy a striker in the next 48 hours. It's just about who it's going to be. Isak over Osimhen. You must be joking. That's not what I said. I don't necessarily think Osimhen fits the system, but I think he's a massive name player who does fit the system, but he's not like the obvious one who fits the system. And this is a great debate actually, because Nicholas Jackson fits the system, but he's not at that level yet to be consistently bagging in that many goals. Osimhen doesn't necessarily fit the system in terms of what we see from him week in, week out, in terms of the way that he plays normally. But Alexander Isak, the way we see him play normally, fits the system. Do you know what I mean? It's getting confusing here. I should have just kept the Osimhen going. I should have just kept the Osimhen come to Chelsea thing going. Thank you, Eric. Visiting next week. Visiting where? What pub should I watch? Chelsea Palace. I don't know where you're visiting, mate. Are you visiting London? You visiting Bali? Where are you? I've seen people ask if I'm going to stream for Servette tomorrow night. Yes, I am. Absolutely, I will be. I think I'll probably have to go to sleep beforehand and then wake up for it. So I might be a bit groggy for the start, but I will be streaming. Brilliant live stream, George. Love it. Thank you. I love streaming. I always used to like streaming. And I was doing really well on Twitch, I think maybe 10 years ago now. And someone hacked into my Twitch account and started streaming flipping SpongeBob pornography, which wasn't ideal. What happens to Nkunku? I think Nkunku is going to be one of those players who kind of fits in wherever he's needed. I think to think that Chelsea are not going to have injuries across that front line this season is mad. But also, I think Chelsea should be looking to not only 100% win the Conference League, yes, but we should be looking to win everything. And I'm not saying that we should win everything, but we should be looking to. So I want to see us this year win the Carabao Cup. I want to see us win the FA Cup. I don't want to see us get knocked out at the first available round. I want to see us go as far as possible in the Cups. So the fact that we've got a big squad and the fact that there are players like Nkunku that we're like, where and when should Nkunku play? Of course, flipping Christopher Nkunku should play. If we sign Victor Osimhen or Ivan Toney, they're not playing every match. We're competing on 4 fronts this season. And with the injury records that we've got, we're going to need everybody. Every flipping week if we can. Osimhen will flop. Do you know what I find? If you think Osimhen will flop, can you tell me why? And this is an interesting one because a lot of people do think he's going to flop. I can fully understand at this point why anyone would say that if Osimhen or Toney or whoever Chelsea sign, if they get given the number 9 shirt, they're going to flop. I can understand why people would say that because we literally have had so many number 9s at Chelsea just completely flop. Okay, let me look at the poll now. We're on 70%. Okay, we're going to end the poll because clearly Victor Osimhen is your guy. He's my guy too. Visiting London. I went to a good pub called The Prince the other day with Alex Goldberg and a few other friends of mine. Very good. Very good pub. Good beer choices, good food. Orazio links confirmed by Fabrizio Romano. Okay, we're going to do another poll here. Oh, let me end that one. Victor Osimhen is the winner. 70% Victor. See what I did there? You like that one, didn't you? Straight off the top of me scalp, mate. Who would you prefer Chelsea to sign? We're going to say Osimhen, option 1. Gyökeres, and I'm going to give him the full respect to spell his name correctly. Although I'll probably spell it wrong now I've said that. Victor Osimhen or Victor Gyökeres? That is the second poll. Let me know your thoughts by voting on the poll. I think Osimhen's going to win this one pretty easily. But I'm trying to see if there's any other striker that you guys might want more than Osimhen. Like, I've been talking about Osimhen all summer on GBFC because, like, for me, it's about I'm trying to not use that A word. You know the one I mean? The one that's just overdone on social media and YouTube and Twitter and X, Instagram, blah, blah, blah. Like, Osimhen has got that X factor. I'll use like the old dad version of Aura. Blackwood's rationalised it because I like, you know, like he just does. And I think that's something that Chelsea have missed. Like Diego Costa had that. Teams would come to Chelsea and they're like, shit, what do we do? Because we got this guy up front. And I think that's what Chelsea need. Teams should fear coming to Stamford Bridge because not only do they have a great team and good players all around, but they've got that striker that's just going to be like, I'm going to do ya. Do you know what I mean? That's why I want Osimhen. Because he works flipping hard when he works hard. Do you know what I mean? He's strong, he's big, he's direct, he's great in the air. Like I want to see someone leaping like a flipping salmon like Cristiano Ronaldo prime, jumping in and bagging headers into the top corner. That is what I want to see. There is some news here coming out of Bobby Vincent saying that people close to Badiashile inform me there is no chance of him leaving before Friday's deadline. Pretty sure that no one actually thought Badiashile was going to leave. But I think this Thomas Orejo potential deal would be if one of Disasi or Badiashile leave. Wow. Osimhen is absolutely killing this poll. 75% want Osimhen, 25% for Victor Gyökeres. Interesting. Where do I think Chelsea will finish if we sign Tony instead of Osimhen? I think if we sign either of them, we'll finish fourth. To be honest, I genuinely think that if we don't sign a striker, like a really good striker, like a Tony or an Osimhen, Gyökeres, like this level, I think we'll finish fifth if we don't. I think we'll finish fourth, maybe third if we do. Thank you, Milan 90 full. Good to see you streaming, George. Do you think we should sign a better keeper? I don't think Sanchez will cut it when we play against the big clubs. I mean, if you've watched any of my videos in the last month, I think you'll all know my position on Robert Sanchez. But I'll give credit where credit is due. That was a fantastic piece of vision and a fantastic pass to see Nicholas Jackson in space the other day. So, yeah, he can absolutely win me over, but he can't keep making mistakes. But yes, I do think eventually, like, I'm not sure about Jorgensen. Like, if Jorgensen, and this is another interesting thing about Chelsea's strategy, like, if Philip Jorgensen was a really, really great goalkeeper, he would already, even through the training sessions, he would have already displaced Robert Sanchez. Already. So I think Jorgensen is around the same level maybe as Sanchez, but right now he's made less mistakes at Chelsea, so I want him to play over Sanchez. That's just the way football works. But there is a world, I think, where Mike Penders, I don't know if you guys saw the highlights of his game that he played like 3 or 4 days ago, Mike Penders, but he looks unreal. He's 6'7", amazing with the ball at his feet. He's just a massive, imposing figure when strikers go anywhere near him. Like, he could be a really, really great goalkeeper. And he'll join next summer. We want Osimhen. I don't know if you guys know it, but I love Osimhen too. We've just hit 306,000 subscribers on GBFC. We literally only hit 300k like 10 days ago. So this is unbelievable, unprecedented growth right now on the channel. So thank you very much to all of you who are subscribed to GBFC. If you're not already, make sure you do so. Smack a like on the stream too if you're a legend and you're enjoying yourself. Tomorrow night we'll be live for Servette away. We can celebrate making it to the group stages of the Europa. Is it the Europa Conference League or UEFA Conference League? I've not paid too much attention to it, but I flipping want to win it. Just would be cool, wouldn't it? Where's the final? Let me have a look. Conference League final 2025. Where is it? It's in Poland. Interesting. I've got a friend who lives in Poland. 40,000 seater stadium. Hope I get a ticket, mate. Shouldn't say these things, should we? Because we're probably going to lose to like Olympiacos in the quarterfinals or something. Why do I think our number 9s fail? Honestly, I think number 9s fail at Chelsea because there is such a massive onus on a number 9 to just be consistently scoring goals. And to be honest, the word consistent and Chelsea Football Club just does not go hand in hand. Chelsea are consistently inconsistent, and that is even before Clearlake took over. Even under Abramovich, we'd win a league, we'd win a Champions League, and then we'd be dead awful the next year. And that would happen over and over and over again. And I think the only way that a striker or a number 9 is considered to be great and not a failure is if no matter what happens, they just keep on delivering. So I honestly think there is only a handful of strikers in world football that have even played in the last sort of... Guys, please stop spamming in the comments. Like, I'm getting round to things. There's only a handful of strikers in the past decade or so that I genuinely think would ever have succeeded at Chelsea. Haaland, for example. I think Haaland would have been amazing if he'd have joined Chelsea over Man City, but not the levels of amazing that he's been at Man City. Like, he'd have probably scored 20 goals in a season, but wouldn't have scored 37. Do you know what I mean? But, like, it's about the levels, man. Like, and this is why I'm excited about what Chelsea are trying to do now. I'm excited because I think we're at a point where we've been through so many different managers. I think Chelsea need a project manager who can get us playing this kind of football. And we also need someone who can not only get us playing a certain style, but they can also just like cut the bullshit. Do you know what I mean? Like, look at the way that Maresca doesn't faff around and doesn't mince his words in interviews. Like, he's brutally honest. And I don't think it's been a case of like, oh, is Maresca too brutal? Is he too honest? I think no, he's just brutally honest. And I think that football, the way that it is today, players aren't ready for brutal honesty. And even to an extent, like, footballing media isn't ready for it because it's shocking. But it's only shocking because we don't hear it enough. The amount of times I've said to you lot over the years, don't even watch a press conference for Chelsea. Just get the information, like the team news. And we're even lucky sometimes to hear about team news from a press conference. Do you know what I mean? All the questions are always the same flipping thing. And not only are Chelsea managers, players briefed to be very, very strict and stringent with the way that they answer things in the media, but like, it's so predictable. But I think with Maresca, because of the way that he is as a bloke, because of the way that he is as a manager, I think he gives us more depth. And I think that understanding from the depth that he gives is really making me like him. I'm endearing myself to him, and he's endearing himself to us by being so flipping honest. And if people want to say it's ruthless and you shouldn't treat players like that, like, flipping hell, man. Like, it's such a 2024 thing to say. Do you know what I mean? Like, everyone's offended by everything. Like, Jesus, if you're not good enough, like, don't play. Simple as that, man. Mudryk. We could talk about Mudryk if you want. Esteval Willian. What a player this guy is. Like, wow. Esteval is like, people, there's some players that Chelsea have signed and we're like, yeah, well, he might come good. Like, he could be really good. But like, this guy, Esteval, is just going to be ridiculous. Like, absolutely unbelievable player. To get the numbers and the importance of what he's already doing for Palmeiras right now at the age that he's at is just absolutely sensational. And as well as that, like, Brazil call up at, 17? Fantastic. When is the match preview coming? The match preview will probably be out tomorrow morning. UK time tomorrow morning. It's kind of a weird one, isn't it? Like, this Civet game is very much sandwiched between, like, crazy Chelsea time. I think there's a lot of people out there that are actually more interested, probably, in this whole Osimhen saga than there is people interested in the fact there's a game tomorrow night. I, for one, 100% will be focused on watching the match tomorrow night. We'll still talk about transfer news in the stream, don't worry. What's the time right now in Bali? It's currently 12:35 at night. But, like, it's, the transfer window closes in 2 days' time. And I won't be taking a break, but, like, naturally, there won't be as much going on during that international break after the transfer window is closed. So, I'll sleep when I'm dead. And also, like, completely off of the Chelsea topic right now, but, like, I've started doing the carnivore diet in the past 3 days. And I feel like even after 3 days, I'm feeling, like, really energized from it. We'll see how I feel after. I'm doing it for 1 month. Or 4 weeks, should I say. Not exactly a month, but yeah, we'll see how I feel in a few more days. Thank you, Milan. Any news on Sterling? And Herbie is supposed to swap Sancho and Sterling as well. That United are interested in Chilwell. So, it looks to me as though Jadon Sancho could be on his way to Juventus. I think at this point in time, Sancho just wants to leave Manchester United and doesn't want to get a shit deal, basically. So, yeah, that's going to happen. Is it going to be Chelsea? Probably not. I think there's not really been too much progress. There's a lot of discussions right now about how much money Chelsea would owe Sterling. Like, I've read somewhere today that it's like 70 million quid for salary plus his bonuses, like, that Chelsea would owe him. 70 million. Bro, like, what have we done? We're stuck with Raheem Sterling. We've got to pay him 70 million quid. Like, I don't know. Like, I still think there's a world where Sterling stays at Chelsea and then he just, like, goes on this mad run of form. But I just don't know when that's going to happen. And I think it's easy when Chelsea sign players like your Pedro Netos, your Joao Felixes, and, like, the difference between Neto passing the ball from the left to the right and getting an amazing assist for Felix compared to Sterling being in on goal and just smacking it straight at Sarr last season instead of passing it to the right to Palmer. It's like we've got enough data already to suggest that we've got a better player already playing. So, yeah. And this is where Chelsea are learning. We can criticise the owners for what they've done a year ago, 2 years ago, last month, but, like, they are learning. We're not throwing out 300 grand a week anymore to average past it players. And again, I don't think it is that Sterling doesn't want to play well. I just don't think he's as good as he used to be. And that's a natural thing to happen to a footballer after they've won a load of trophies and are kind of playing in a dysfunctional team, having been playing under Pep Guardiola. So, yeah. That's where I sit with that. Sterling is cooked, fam. You're having a laugh. There's also that avenue of looking at it too. I love streaming, by the way. Like, I actually love streaming. It's so much fun. Okay, I'm going to have a little scout here. So, if you haven't yet voted on the GBFC poll, get your votes in now. Who would you prefer Chelsea to sign? Osimhen or Victor Gyökeres? What happens to Mark Gue? To be honest, Bro, stop spamming me, man. I'm just going to just quickly mute this guy because he's doing my nutting. Like, I know my name's George. I get it. You want to talk to me? Cool. But, like, I think Big Baz for striker. Is that Josh in the chat? If that's Josh Grimes in the chat. I forgot to order those sachets I was going to order to your house, mate. Would I take Rashford from Man United? Absolutely not. Like, again, Marcus Rashford is a prime example of a footballer who tried to do all of the right things by being a good guy off the pitch, but genuinely, in the process of trying to be a good guy, forgot to be a footballer. It's genuinely how I feel that's happened with Marcus Rashford. And then he's kind of like, he's just let the fact that Man United have been in a bit of like an upheaval for so long as like, I don't know, it feels like it's an excuse in a way, but like, I genuinely think Rashford, when he should have just been playing football, practicing, becoming a better footballer, growing as a footballer, why didn't he just do that instead and then be like the saviour for the country's kids and whatnot afterwards? That's not to belittle it and say that what he's done is bad, because it's great. But the football has also suffered during the same period of time. Just an observation. Thank you, Gio, for the 10 dirham donation. What do you think about Orejo to Chelsea? If I'm being honest, I don't know anywhere near enough about the guy, to be fair. I'm looking now. He's not played yet for the Portugal national team. He's got 10 appearances for the under-21s. Like, I don't know much about him. He's played 3 games so far this season. I need to do some more research on him, to be fair, which, considering I was going to post another video after I did this live stream, or at least record one and upload one for you lot, I should probably do that research at some point when I stop streaming, so that I can keep on chatting to you lot now. Kane Chukwuemeka, that's another good question. I don't want Chelsea to sell Kane Chukwuemeka, and if you've seen today's first video, you'll know that I don't want Chelsea to sell him, but I just think that we will. And I think it is one of them where, depending on what happens with Osimhen, Tony, some of these players, like, I think we might keep Chukwuemeka around in case Nkunku needs to be used as more of a striker, and then Chukwuemeka can be used as more of like that attacking midfielder, or potentially as an attacking 8, which I think Nkunku will be used as like an attacking 8 this season at times. Osimhen will win the Golden Boot this or next season. I mean, the reality of the situation is, guys, Osimhen, if he goes to Saudi Arabia, he'll win the Golden Boot. Will he win it in the Premier League? Probably not, because Erling Haaland will win the Golden Boot every single year because he plays for Manchester City, unless they get relegated. Do you know what I mean? So maybe we just wait until next summer. We sign Erling Haaland from Man City, because Man City are going to get relegated from their 115 charges. And then we just sign Haaland then, because he wants the Premier League goal scoring record, and he signs for Chelsea because Chelsea is Chelsea. Now I'm just waffling. All right. Now that is pure bollocks. But yes, he will need to adapt to the Premier League, for sure. Players and Esteval will be perfect students of Palmer and Madueke. I mean, that is massive praise for both Cole Palmer and Noni Madueke, but it is very exciting to think about what Chelsea could be next season when Esteval and Kendry join the club. It's so exciting. And that is why right now I think this is the window where the big name strikers got to come in. I think Ivan Toney kind of answers a problem for now, but like, does it really solve anything long term? And like, this is all about the long term vision, right? It's all about the long term project. Like, is Ivan Toney at 28 years old, having spent a year basically on the sidelines because he was gambling, like, is Ivan Toney the long term answer for Chelsea? Players, when they get to 28 years old, can either like hit like a new lease of life and it's like the middle of their peak as strikers, or they may just like dwindle down and the quality just not improve from here. It depends on his attitude. Osimhen's 25. Like, you're literally buying a player there. It's actually, this is so frustrating, isn't it? Because £55 million for a player of that quality who is 25, not even in the peak of his career yet. Like, this is like a potential era-defining signing. Like, that is how big this Osimhen signing could be. Bloody hell, I want to sign him so badly. I really want Chelsea to sign Osimhen, if you didn't know from my videos already. I don't really swear very often on my channel, but I guarantee you tomorrow night I'll swear. Like, when I watch Chelsea, like, I'm swearing all the time. I've also seen some rumours, guys, that we might even, like, Aston Villa want flipping Nicholas Jackson. Na 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 na. Imagine Osimhen is not coming, he wants the money. I think you're right, mate. I think you're right. That's annoying, but I think you're right. Oh, I'm just refreshing my Twitter feed, like, hoping and praying. People are so funny too. Like, 1 minute we just want Osimhen, and then now the fact he's not signed for Chelsea yet, and he's considering this mega money offer from Saudi, we're all like, nah, screw him. Never wanted him anyway. Wow. Even Tony walks too much in the final third. His work rate leaves much to be desired. But, like, at the same time, like, I don't know. Like, does... okay, I'm going to do another poll here because I'm pretty sure everyone is in universal agreement because you're subscribed to this YouTube channel and we've gone on about him forever. 75% of you have chosen Victor Osimhen over Victor Gyökeres. Let me do another question here. Who would you want Chelsea to sign? Pick one. Ollie Watkins or Ivan Toney? Interesting. I would be very intrigued to see what you guys say about this one. If you could only sign one of Ollie Watkins or Ivan Toney, which one would you sign? I think this is going to be close. Osimhen is the winner. Yes, of course he is. Hi, George. Just joined. Any update on strikers? Well, I'll give a little overview right now of what is going on. Again, for those of you that are new to this stream, make sure you smack a like on it. First of all, subscribe if you are new. The latest is that Ahly have put in a serious contract offer for Victor Osimhen that would see him make over $600,000 a week. Chelsea are still in negotiations with Osimhen. Osimhen is prioritising Chelsea, but at the moment we are hearing nothing other than Victor Osimhen is not budging from his wage demands. He wants to get paid everything that he's been asking for and isn't willing to accept a penny less. That is not changed throughout the entirety of this summer. But at the same time, we also haven't ever been at a point in the transfer window where it's do or die, make or break, time to make a decision. So Osimhen is clearly no longer part of the plans at Napoli, so a move is necessary. And do you know what I just find ridiculous and annoying about this whole thing? Is yesterday when we looked at the comments that were made from Calendar, Victor Osimhen's agent, I'm like, well, this is very exciting now because the reality here is that PSG are out of the race. All of the journalists are reporting that from a while ago. And now he's coming out saying that he's not going to go to Saudi Arabia, which basically, as everybody knows, if he's going there, he's just doing it for the money. And now, like, and this is the reason I still think Osimhen signs for Chelsea, okay? The reason I still think he becomes a Chelsea player is because if that offer is already on the table from Ahly, and we know that they've already made an agreement with Napoli for the fee, so that's all agreed. The money that they're offering is outrageous. It's right there. And you know, it's not like poking Chelsea and being like, come on, pay me 600 grand, keep doing that. Like, no. Chelsea will not just answer to the poke and be like, yeah, go on then, have 600k, mate. That's not going to happen. So I think if Osimhen was going to join Ahly or any other Saudi Arabian club or rich club paying stupid wages club for that matter, I think he'd have already just said yes. And like, I imagine being a fly on the wall. I know it's such a silly thing to say, but like, imagine being a fly on the wall for these negotiations, because at the end of the day, like, yes, the agent is going to do everything he can to try and get the best deal for his client. Yes, it's also a scare tactic in a way to make it clear that the price isn't going to go down in terms of what that wage is going to be. But he doesn't want to go to Saudi. Like, it's trying to entice any club out there that are a big enough club to be able to pay 500k a week or whatever it is, or 350. I don't know what the exact number is. There's rumors about loads of different things. Like, the way that Osimhen's agent is moving is in the idea of being able to just like get someone to be like, go on then, we'll take Osimhen. 55 million quid is a bargain, right? That is a bargain, but the wages on top of that, man, like, flipping heck. Flipping heck. Wow, someone's saying here that Osimhen is a more mobile Haaland. Interesting. If Nkunku and Palmer stay fit, Osimhen wins the Golden Boot. Like, damn, man. Can we just flipping sign him already? If he moves to Chelsea, he'll be the top assister. Like, all of these things, like, I'm not fully sold on this idea either that he doesn't work hard from the team. Like, I'm pretty sure that he does. Like, even if you just watch highlight videos of Osimhen, like, the work and the fight that he puts in, like, he's chasing down the goalkeepers, like, really. So this is the update from Sky Cather right now on Raheem Sterling. Chelsea are trying to agree a deal with interesting clubs which can be put in front of Sterling and his advisors before Friday's deadline. Obvious. The player is not involved in any club-to-club discussions. He is open to taking part in talks following the conclusion of constructive club negotiations. There is no guarantee Sterling will leave before the deadline. Sterling is still listed as one of 33 senior players on the Chelsea club website, but he does not have a number. For me, there's no way Sterling stays at Chelsea when we've already gone and given Pedro Neto his number 7. Like, it's mad. Like, surely Chelsea knew that he was going to go? Or, like, this is what I mean. Like, it's ruthless. And I catch myself saying, like, don't be that ruthless. Don't, like, is it too ruthless? But, like, I also love the fact that it's ruthless. You know what I mean? Like, Big Benson on the news. You know it. You know it. What do I think of Minerals FC saying you are a PR merchant? Do you know what? I could not give a flying anything about any comments saying I'm a PR merchant. Like, what do you reckon I've got time in my life to care about that? You know, I've got a beautiful home, beautiful girlfriend, beautiful dog, lovely cat who chills out with me every day. I have a dream talking about Chelsea to an amazing audience. Like, you think I give a crap about someone calling me a PR merchant? Bloody hell, mate. Go and have a coconut or something. I hope Chiesa doesn't light up the Prem when we could have had him. Now, that is called being greedy. That is Chelsea fans being greedy, all right? Like, you don't want Liverpool to have him because we could have had him. We don't want him to light up the Prem because we could have had him. Like, come on. We just signed Pedro Neto. We've got Joao Felix. We're about to sign Victor Osimhen. Walking and speaking it into existence right now. Can we, hang on 1 second, get an updated folder, please. Seeing Arajo News. One sec, guys. I'm just making sure that you will have another video tonight. Haaland is getting 800k. Is that actually true, though? Like, let me Google this. How much is Erling Haaland getting paid? And this is actually an interesting... He's on 375 grand a week, apparently. Okay, there's I think 375 grand is... Wait, there's so many different things here about this. But basically, like, Erling Haaland should get paid whatever because he flipping came to Man City and won them a treble and keeps on winning them the league and keeps on scoring hat-tricks and keeps on scoring goals. And this is the thing, right? Like, that is the aspirational level of where a footballer should be looking at. A footballer should be looking at Erling Haaland and being like, it doesn't get any better than this. His goal-scoring record is outrageous. The amount of trophies he's winning season on season since he joined City is outrageous. And I think that is why, when we're talking about these mega numbers in football, like it is astronomical. And for many of us, like, we might not even see what they earn in a week in our lifetimes, maybe some of us. You never know. But, like, flipping heck, man. Like, if anyone was worth that amount of money, it's him, to be honest. Who do I think we're going to end up with? I still think we sign Osimhen, guys. I do. I think he would have already said yes, I think, to Saudi by now. And I think the point I made earlier about, like, he's not, like... The offer from Ahly is 30 million per year for 4 years. That's 120 million. Like, I said it at the start of this stream. Like, yes, of course he's going to be thinking about it, but it's the difference. If it was like... Okay, let's just paint this in a more understandable way. If it was Real Madrid offering 30 million a year, which it never would be, but like, if it was, he goes. If it's Barcelona, he goes. If it's Paris Saint-Germain, he probably goes. It's Saudi Arabia. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's 25. His dream was the Premier League. He had Chelsea shirts on when he was a kid. Didier Drogba is his mate. John Obi Mikel is telling him every day to join Chelsea. Why has this guy not just said yes to 30 million a year for 4 years already, with a release clause so that he can bugger off back to Europe whenever he wants if someone pays the money? Why? Because Chelsea are Chelsea. And Chelsea still have pull. We have an exciting project with incredibly talented young players, and Victor Osimhen will look at that and be like, I'm your striker now. Let me get you the Premier League. That's why he still joins us, in my opinion. Lots of people think we don't need him. Lots of people do. I, for one, think he's a game changer. Victor didn't know Ahly when he was a kid. And this is also another thing, right? Like, you cannot underestimate what Chelsea's heritage and what Chelsea have achieved in this man's life. You cannot underestimate the value of what that is. Ahly, no offense to any Saudis in here watching this or anyone who supports any Saudi Arabian teams, but like, until they started spending loads of money in that country, in that league, to get players to come, no one even knew really about Ahly on a global footballing scale, apart from when they randomly appear in the Club World Cup. That's the truth. Not as many people watch Ahly every week as they watch Chelsea Football Club. So at this point, it really is simply about the ambition of the man. And yes, money talks. This is 2024. Money is always going to have a say. And the difference is massive. It really is. But if he still joins Chelsea now, flipping heck. Incredible. I prefer that bloke playing for Sporting. All right, mate. Wow, this is a very interesting poll here. Get yourself involved in this poll here on the chat, guys. Who would you want Chelsea to sign? Pick one, Ollie Watkins or Ivan Toney. 46% Ollie Watkins, 54% Ivan Toney. That is an interesting one. Gyökeres is 100 million. Gyökeres would be more expensive than Osimhen in terms of the outright fee, but Gyökeres will end up spending, will cost less money in wages, basically. Just checking now, see if there's any other news. I find it so funny. I'm seeing Carefree Lewis tweet now. It's like, set pieces, dangerous take-ons, intelligent 1v1 decision-making, two-footed finishes, selfless, leadership, loves playing Man City, versatile defensive work rate. What's not to love about Raheem Sterling? Such a frustrating player, man. Like, I respect Sterling for what he's done in his career, and I get it. You know, you go from winning things at Man City to competing for 10th with Chelsea, and you're like, what am I doing here? And I genuinely feel like deep down, that's what Sterling says to himself some days. Like, what am I doing here? But that doesn't quite cut it, and that's why I'm happy to say goodbye. Man United and Ben Chilwell. But I don't really think there's any legs in any of this whatsoever. I don't think Ben Chilwell is going anywhere near Manchester United because I don't think Man United want Ben Chilwell. David Bushnell, welcome to the GBFC membership club. Truth hurts. World War III is starting in Asia. Osimhen doesn't. Okay. All right, mate. Whatever you say, mate. What would be in the dressing room if he'd made that much money? See, this is the thing, right? Like, we could all get excited if Osimhen does sign and Chelsea actually do pay him what he's asked for, which I'd be very surprised if he did. But deep down, I'm telling you now, I think the only way that this deal doesn't end up making a problem at Chelsea is if he accepts wages that are incentivized based on the fact that if he does well and Chelsea start doing well, he's going to get more money eventually because he's earned it. Which I don't think is going to... That's the only way this doesn't cause a problem. Because if Chelsea break the wage structure to bring him in, yes, there's a big debate that that's the right thing to do for sure. But at the same time, what message does that give to everybody else? Why would a player that we want to see develop and stay at Chelsea and become better and better and better, let's say like even a Cole Palmer, to be honest. Like if Victor Osimhen comes straight in and is offered like 100 grand, 200 grand more than Palmer's pay rise from last season, arguably one of the best players in the world, with one of the best seasons in world football at Chelsea last year. Like, what message does that send to him? I think it would, in the long run, I think it would disrupt the apple cart massively. But then there's also the debate. There's so many different ways to turn in this discussion. Is this the final piece of the jigsaw in this four transfer window strategy that we have heard so much about from the Chelsea ownership? 4 windows was the time that we were told it was going to take to build the team in the image in which they wanted to. Fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. The question is Victor Osimhen signing for Chelsea? I don't know. It's been like, as well as like the last few days, it's been like up and down, and we're kind of just waiting for that like dopamine injection right now of like just some kind of positive hope. You'll only be excited about Osimhen when he's in a blue shirt. Well, unfortunately, that's not quite how my job goes. My job is to break down the excitement, break down the facts, break down the stories, give my opinions. Let's get 1,500 likes. I like this guy. Solutionist. You're the man. Or the woman. I'm not sure what your sex is, but you're the one. Duran or Watkins? Okay, let me ask that question. I'm pretty sure I know what the answer is going to be, but I'm more than happy. One signing. Pick one. John Duran, Ollie Watkins. I'm pretty sure I think I know where this one's going to go, but like, let's see now. John Duran or Ollie Watkins. If we're going to go and raid Aston Villa, just for the record, by the way, Aston Villa are potentially interested in Nicholas Jackson. There is no world right now out there where I let Nicholas Jackson go to Aston Villa and take any of their strikers. That would be an awful deal. I think Nicholas Jackson is fantastic. Ollie Watkins is winning this one, just as I thought he would. Greetings from the LA Blues. We trust in Benson. Osimhen will be on his way. This time tomorrow, we might know more. I mean, what's the date today? It's now it's the 29th where I am in the world right now. It's the 28th for the majority of you, I'm guessing, here in the chat. It's one of those also where, you know, like if I was to end this live stream right now, something will happen, you know. It's always the way it goes. And I like that's exactly what happened to me when, I don't know if you guys remember when I think it was when Enzo Fernandez joined. I think that's what happened. There was definitely one where I streamed on deadline day or something for like a really long time. And then as soon as I turned off the stream, Chelsea got their guy. They are not selling Watkins. No. Aston Villa, like, flipping it. Aston Villa let me down for a serious accumulator win the other day. I put them to beat Arsenal, so they didn't really let me down. Like, I let myself down by thinking Villa were going to beat Arsenal, to be honest. But 24-hour live stream. To be fair, like, I would do that, but should I do that? 24-hour live stream. I could do it. I could. I don't know. George, why do we keep extending Kepa's contract and loan him to Bournemouth? Because if we can't get someone to buy him, then if we let his contract run down, he goes for free. So if we extend his contract, then there's still value there that Chelsea can get for a sale. Ask my missus. No, she'd be great actually. She'd probably bring me food. She'd probably bring me water and. To be honest, I can't really have that many beverages right now. I can't drink alcohol. Big up David Bushnell for the £10 donation. Chelsea, you know what you need to do. Bring us Osimhen up the Chelsea, George. You're a legend, mate. I'm new here. I love Chelsea. Osimhen loves Chelsea. Come home, Victor. Chelsea's where you belong. David's just right. I don't know why I called you Jason. David, you're absolutely spot on. Like, he belongs at Chelsea, doesn't he? Let's be real. Netflix and chill if we keep chilly. Wow. I think we're clutching at straws there, to be honest, guys. I really do. Thank you very much, David. That is a big donation. I appreciate it. Guys, give me your score predictions for the game tomorrow night. What do you think is going to happen? What am I doing here? Checking this one. Six 0. I mean, we've got to go there and beat them, haven't we? Like, I think there's no Joao Felix. There's no Pedro Neto. Based on the idea that he didn't train today, like I think if he was playing, he would have trained, and I kind of like that as well. Like I've seen a couple of people ask me here, like, why is Neto not training? He played really well when he came on for 45 minutes at the weekend. Before that, I think he wasn't fully fit, and I don't think they would have expected to bring him on at halftime. So I think at this point, it's just basic load management. Which is great, because if a player is coming back from injury and is naturally injury prone, look at the way that Chelsea have dealt with that in the past. We have rushed players back countless times. But yeah. Guys, it's been an hour and 20 minutes. I am going to wrap up this live stream now, because I'm going to make one more video for you guys today. So before I go, if you're still here, please do subscribe to the George Benson Football channel so you don't miss anything. And also smack a like on this stream And I also want to say a big thank you to each and every one of you who have been watching the videos as of late. It's been fantastic. I'm going to be live again tomorrow for the Chelsea Servette game. And there's also going to be a video out in the morning too. So like there's a video going to be going out soon, really soon. And then if there's news in the morning, I'll update you guys. And there'll also be the Servette preview. There'll either be just the preview or it will be like attached to another news video in about 12 hours from now, I'd say. So yeah, thank you very much for everyone who's come in the stream. I've absolutely loved this. It's been mega. It's been so much fun. And yeah, thanks for all the support on the streams and the channel. And I'll see you guys in a little bit. Stay tuned for the video. And let me know in the comments when I upload the video in like 45 minutes that you came from the stream. All right. Ciao.